Somewhere over the rainbow, birds fly over the rainbow.
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the new movie, The Flash. So, in this movie, Barry Allen is trying to save his family, and creates an alternate future where General Zod has returned and there's no other superheroes to help take him on, so he teams up with Michael Keaton's Batman and Sasha Cal's Supergirl to take on General Zod and save this universe and try to restore peace to his world too, and return to his original timeline. So this is a pretty decent movie. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm kind of been mixed on the DCEU and everything, and this one is a movie that I'm more mixed on, but I do think it is pretty good. And everything, the story is pretty engaging from start to finish, and the pacing is really good in this one. It's almost a 2.5 hour movie, and it doesn't feel like it, and everything. And when a movie can be that long and not feel like it, that means it's at least somewhat enjoyable. But there are a lot of things I have problems with this movie, but I'll get into that here in a minute. I think the cast are all once again great. But Ezra Miller, who played the Flash in the Justice League movies, the theatrical version and the Zack Snyder version, I felt like was better in both of those movies. I felt like they didn't really do as good in this one as, although as the main Barry and everything, they did a good job, but as alternate Barry, who is like a younger version that hadn't got his powers yet when they first meet, and he gets his powers and stuff. I felt like he just isn't as good, and everything, but he's okay, and but it is cool kind of getting to see the origin of the Flash in this movie. We do get to see that a little bit and everything, and it is a pretty good personal story. You could tell they took inspiration from the Flashpoint Paradox comics, which is a really great storyline and everything. I've actually read that one and seen the animated movie and everything. In fact, I know I'm not really reviewing DC stuff as much anymore, but I might borrow that one from my brother and review that one sometime, just because I hadn't seen it in a while. And watching this movie made me want to watch it. But yeah, I felt like Ezra Miller was okay as Barry Allen in this one. Not as good as they were in the Justice League movies, though. And everything. And this movie's had a lot of controversy behind it because of Ezra Miller and their problems with the law. They've been in all kinds of legal troubles and done a lot of stuff that most studios would have, if it would have been Disney or most other studios, they would have fired Ezra Miller right away and everything, but this company decided not to do that and everything, which I guess is understandable. You couldn't really take Ezra Miller out of the Flash movie and re-edit someone in there. They would have had to refilm most of the movie, or almost all the movie, because Ezra Miller is pretty much in it through the whole thing and everything. So I get why they didn't recast and everything, because a lot of the controversies came out after the movie had been made or had been filmed and stuff. But I felt like they were fine as the character, and I'm not really to the point that I really care. We're going to be getting a recast Flash sometime in the near future when James Gunn recasts him anyway, so recast the character anyway, so I don't really have a lot of thoughts on that and everything. And that's one of the things I just felt like the entire time I was watching this movie was like, I don't even know why I'm sitting here. This is all pointless because it's not going to go anywhere and everything. And but that being said, it was still enjoyable though. I loved getting to see Michael Keaton back as Bruce Wayne and Batman. I thought he was once again still really good as a character, and it was a welcome return. I thought he did a great job, and everything. And Sasha Calle as Supergirl was pretty good too. I wish she would have been in the movie more. She doesn't have a lot to do in here, but the stuff that she does have is pretty cool and everything. Andy Muschietti's directing is pretty good, although I feel like his work on the movie Mama and the It movies is a lot better. I think he's better suited for smaller scale movies and stuff like Mama and the It movies, but he did a decent enough job on The Flash. And the score is pretty darn good too. I was really surprised at how much the score stood out to me in this one. To me, it ranks up there as one of the best DC superhero movie scores in a while. It just fits the tone of the movie really well. I think it's possibly the best score for a DC movie since Man of Steel and everything. But yeah, and there's some pretty cool cameos in here too. Some that I knew were going, most of them I knew were going to happen, to be honest with you, because I had kind of already heard about it and someone had spoiled some of them on Facebook for me, so I knew some of the cameos that we were going to be getting and stuff, and they were pretty cool. I wish they could have done a little bit more with them, but with what we got, they were pretty cool and everything. I'm not going to say who all it is in case y'all haven't been keeping up with the internet or haven't heard and just don't want to know. I'm not going to say who it is, but there's some pretty cool ones. But as far as the negatives go, the CGI is pretty awful in this movie. Like, there's this one scene when the Flash is doing this rescue, and there's just tons and tons of bad CGI, which in the scene, what they're doing in the scene, there's no way they could do that with humans. It just wouldn't work, and everything. But it looks pretty bad. If you've seen the movie, you probably know what I'm talking about. It's kind of at the beginning of the movie. But there is some pretty cool scenes where he's teaming up with Ben Affleck's Batman and stuff, which is pretty cool and everything. It was cool getting to see Ben Affleck's Batman one more time. Unfortunately, this is the last time we see him. We're gonna see him and everything, but it was cool getting to see him, at least. And like I said, my other big main complaint with this movie is Ezra's performance is the other version of Barry Allen. They just didn't do a very good job, and everything. Just a little too campy, and they did this really annoying laugh that is like this. It's like this most annoying fake laugh that just didn't sound right and everything. It just sounded really fake and annoying and everything. But yeah. And as for the only other negatives, the cameo at the very end of the movie kind of ticked me off and everything. Now, I can't say what it is because it would spoil the movie and everything, but I do not like what they did at the end of the movie and everything, and it didn't ruin the movie for me, but it did make me mad, and it was stuff that I knew was coming. I kind of halfway expected. I didn't expect what happened with it though. It did somewhat surprise me, but I kind of expected what was going to happen by the end of it, and it kind of makes me mad, especially as someone who's been following the DCEU and stuff, and this one particular character and stuff that they do this with really bothers me and everything. If you've seen the movie, you probably guess what it is. I might do a spoiler review for this one before too long, because I do kind of want to talk about that and everything. But that cameo at the end made me where I'm not interested in the future of the DCEU, which there's only 2 movies left anyway, Blue Beetle and Aquaman 2, and I have no desire for Aquaman 2. Blue Beetle looks kind of fun and everything, but I'm not as excited for it. But James Gunn did say that Blue Beetle would be included in the new DCEU, so I probably will give it a shot and everything. I'm gonna at least try to give James Gunn's DCEU a fair chance, although I don't trust Warner Brothers to not mess it up and everything like they did this universe, because this was a really fun movie and everything. They got a lot of the stuff down right in this movie, although I felt like they've had it right in a lot of the other ones. I felt like a lot of the DCEU movies have been underrated and everything, and this one I don't think is going to be. I think this is going to be the one DCEU movie that everybody is going to make a huge deal about, and it's not going to be one of my favorites because of that reason. But all in all, I feel like this one is okay. It's not terrible by any means. It's watchable and enjoyable enough. I wasn't like so bored with it I couldn't handle watching it, but I just felt like, all in all, I'd give The Flash a C. It's a okay movie, not a terrible movie by any means. It's a fun time. It's definitely better than Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I think it was a big step up from that and everything, but it just doesn't quite live up to the Snyderverse movies that are part of the DCEU to me. I prefer the Snyderverse movies over the DCEU movies. But this one was an okay time, and I didn't feel bad watching it or miserable watching it or anything like that. It wasn't like one of the worst DC movies ever. There are tons and tons that are worse than this one, but this definitely is kind of just somewhere in the middle for me. But anyway, if you've seen The Flash, let me know in the comments what you thought of it and everything, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.